Have you ever ordered a drink at Starbucks, clearly said your name, and still received a cup with the wrong spelling? It happens so often that many people joke about it. Some even expect it. You might laugh, take a photo, and move on, but over time, a question forms. Why does this keep happening so consistently? Is it random? Or is there something deeper going on? This video is not about blaming baristas or claiming secret intentions. It's about understanding systems, specifically how branding, speed, human interaction, and memory intersect in everyday environments. Starbucks operates thousands of stores worldwide. Small patterns don't stay accidental at that scale. Today, we're exploring how the name on the cup system works and why it became such a recognizable part of the Starbucks experience. This topic matters because Starbucks is not just a coffee company, it's a customer experience company. Millions of people interact with the brand daily, and small details shape how those interactions feel. Names are personal. They signal recognition and attention. When a brand asks for your name, it creates a moment of connection, even when the spelling isn't perfect. Understanding why this system exists helps us see how businesses balance speed, personalization, and scale. It also shows how small design choices can influence memory and conversation. This video is for educational purposes and is based on publicly available information. We're not here to accuse or speculate. We're here to understand how everyday systems work and why they feel the way they do.
Starbucks didn't always write names on cups. In its early days, stores were smaller and slower. Orders were simpler. As the company expanded, volume increased. More customers, more drinks, more complexity. Writing names became a practical solution. It helped baristas match drinks to people in busy environments, especially during peak hours. The name wasn't meant as branding, it was a functional tool. But over time, it became something else. It turned into a recognizable ritual. Customers expected it. They listened for their name, they looked for their cup. What started as logistics slowly became part of the brand's identity.
As Starbucks grew globally, consistency became harder. Different languages, different accents, different name conventions. Stores had to move fast. Baristas often work under time pressure. Orders stack quickly. Noise levels are high. Names are spoken once, sometimes softly, often through masks or background sound. Perfect spelling was never the priority. Speed and flow were. The system wasn't designed for accuracy. It was designed for movement. Get the order, make the drink, call the name. Keep the line moving. Understanding this context is key, because once a system is built around speed, perfection becomes optional.
Names matter to people. They're tied to identity. Hearing your name spoken feels validating, even when it's misspelled. Starbucks understood this early. Asking for a name feels warmer than asking for a number. It humanizes the transaction. You're not order 42, you're Alex or Sam or Maria. That small shift changes the tone. Even if the spelling is off, the intent feels personal. And personal experiences are more memorable than neutral ones. This emotional layer turns a routine purchase into something people remember. And memory is a powerful branding tool. In practice, the name system works under constraints. Baristas don't have time to confirm spelling. They hear a sound, they write what makes sense quickly. Accuracy would slow everything down, and Starbucks prioritizes flow. The cup is not a legal document, it's a temporary marker. Its job is to move a drink from counter to customer. The system accepts error because error doesn't break the process. The drink still reaches the right person, and the interaction still feels human. In many ways, the system works because it's imperfect, not despite it.
Even common names get misspelled. John becomes Joan, Emily becomes Emily, Sarah becomes Sarah. This isn't about difficulty, it's about interpretation. Baristas make split-second decisions. They default to familiar spellings, sometimes regional spellings, sometimes personal habits. The result feels random, but it's not careless. It's fast, and speed is the currency of high-volume service. What matters is that the customer recognizes their name when it's called. Spelling accuracy is secondary. Recognition comes first.
Starbucks stores are intentionally active spaces. Music plays, machines run, conversations overlap. This atmosphere creates energy, but it also affects communication. Names are heard through noise. Mishearing is normal. The system accounts for that. It doesn't slow down to correct it. Instead, it moves forward. This environment shapes outcomes. Misspellings are not failures. They are side effects of a lively, fast-moving space, and that space is part of the brand's appeal. Quiet efficiency would feel different, less social, less dynamic. The system accepts trade-offs to preserve atmosphere.
People rarely notice when their name is spelled correctly. It feels expected. But when it's wrong, it stands out. It creates contrast. That contrast sticks in memory. People talk about it. They share photos. They joke about it online. This wasn't the original goal, but it became a side effect. The name on the cup moment turned into a shareable experience, not because it was perfect, but because it was human. Imperfect details feel real, and real experiences travel farther than polished ones. So far, we've looked at origins and context. Now it's time to look deeper. How does this system scale across thousands of locations? How does Starbucks maintain consistency without controlling every detail? And why does this approach continue to work, even as customer expectations change?
Starbucks operates globally, but it avoids over-standardizing human moments. Baristas are trained on workflow, not handwriting. There is no strict spelling guide. This flexibility allows stores to operate smoothly across cultures. Names sound different everywhere. Spellings vary widely. Rigid rules would slow service. Instead, Starbucks standardizes process, not expression. The cup marks an order. The barista marks the cup. How that happens is flexible. This balance allows speed and individuality to coexist, and that balance keeps the experience from feeling robotic. It feels human, even at scale. The name system also supports memory. When you hear your name called, your attention sharpens. You look up. You scan the counter. This reduces confusion. Without names, customers would constantly check cups. That would slow everything down. The system uses sound and identity to organize attention. Even misspelled, the name works. You recognize it. Others don't respond. The drink finds its owner. This is efficient, and efficiency is essential in high-volume service environments. Writing names allows interaction without extended conversation. Baristas don't need to chat. Customers don't need to explain. The interaction stays brief but personal. This matters during busy hours. Small moments of recognition replace longer exchanges. That keeps lines moving while preserving warmth. The name becomes a stand-in for connection. Even when misspelled, it signals acknowledgement. That balance helps Starbucks scale friendliness without slowing service. It's a quiet design choice, but it shapes the entire experience. People with uncommon names often notice the system most. Their names are frequently misspelled, but they are also remembered. Baristas may ask for repetition or simplify spelling. The goal isn't correctness, it's clarity. The system adapts. Unusual names highlight the trade-off between speed and precision, and most customers accept that trade because the interaction still feels personal. The drink still arrives. The experience still flows. The system succeeds by prioritizing function over form. Starbucks training emphasizes pace, consistency, and service flow. Baristas learn drink recipes, order sequencing, time management. Spelling names perfectly is not emphasized because it doesn't improve outcomes. What improves outcomes is clear communication and movement. The name system supports that goal. It's a tool, not a test. Understanding this reframes the experience. Misspellings aren't mistakes. They're acceptable outcomes in a system designed for speed and volume. Many people believe Starbucks misspells names intentionally for marketing. That idea is popular online, but there's no evidence of a deliberate strategy to misspell names. The system works without that assumption. The effects come from scale and speed, not planning errors. At high volume, patterns emerge naturally. Some get noticed, some get shared. That doesn't mean they were engineered. It means they were allowed. And that difference matters when evaluating how systems operate. Another assumption is that baristas don't care. In reality, most are focused on efficiency and accuracy where it matters. Drink quality, order timing, customer flow. Spelling is secondary. This isn't neglect, it's prioritization. In fast-paced environments, attention goes where it has the most impact. Understanding that helps reframe expectations. The system delivers what it's designed to deliver: warmth, speed, and consistency, not perfect handwriting.
Here's the surprising part. Imperfect experiences are often more memorable than perfect ones. Psychologists call this the distinctiveness effect. When something stands out, it sticks. A misspelled name stands out. People remember it. They talk about it. They share it. This doesn't require intention. It emerges naturally. The system creates moments people recall, not because it's flawed, but because it's human. And humans remember human moments. Social media amplified this effect. Photos of cups spread quickly. Names became jokes. Memes formed. Starbucks didn't need to promote it. Customers did it themselves. The system produced shareable moments, and the internet carried them forward. This feedback loop reinforced awareness, but the core system didn't change. It continued operating as designed: fast, personal, flexible. The visibility increased, not the intention.
So, what does this mean today? As automation increases and personalization becomes more digital, the name on the cup system feels almost old-fashioned, but it still works. As businesses grow, they often lose warmth. Processes become automated, interactions become impersonal. Starbucks resisted that by keeping a human moment in the process. Names provide that moment, even imperfectly. This shows that scale doesn't require coldness, it requires thoughtful design. The system allows individuality without slowing service. That balance is hard to achieve, but when it works, it becomes invisible. And invisible systems are often the most effective. Digital platforms use similar ideas. Usernames, notifications, personal greetings. These elements create recognition, even when automated. The principle is the same. People respond to being acknowledged. Starbucks applied this physically long before digital platforms refined it online. Understanding this connection helps explain why the system persists. It aligns with how humans process attention and identity, across environments, across technologies. Despite jokes and memes, Starbucks hasn't removed names from cups. Because the system still works. Customers expect it. They listen for it. It organizes space and attention. It supports flow. And it creates moments people remember. Removing it would change the experience, and not necessarily for the better. Enduring systems survive because they solve multiple problems at once. This one solves logistics, memory, and connection simultaneously. Once you understand the system, your perception shifts. You stop seeing misspellings as mistakes. You see them as outcomes of design choices. Awareness doesn't remove the experience, it adds context.
That context reduces frustration and increases appreciation. You notice how environments shape interaction, not just in coffee shops, but everywhere. Design quietly influences behavior, and understanding that gives us perspective. Starbucks names are a small detail, but they reveal a bigger truth. Systems shape how we feel, how we move, how we remember. Most of the time, we don't notice until something stands out. That moment invites curiosity, and curiosity leads to understanding. This video isn't about defending or criticizing. It's about seeing how everyday experiences are constructed and how small choices scale into global patterns.
So the next time your name is spelled wrong on a Starbucks cup, pause for a moment. It's not carelessness. It's not a trick. It's a system designed for speed, warmth, and scale. Imperfect, but effective. If this video helped you see a familiar experience differently, feel free to share your thoughts. And if you enjoy learning how industries really work, consider subscribing to Industry File with David.